Figure this morning I might take you with me while I do some chores. So first thing in the morning, what we do is let out the animals. As you can see, the cat's out, Ryan's out, and somewhere over there, Zed's out. And you can probably hear it. The chickens are complaining to be let out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let out the chickens, we'll let out the geese, and I'm also gonna have to carry a bag of scratch, so the chicken scratch, down to the shed down there. That's where we store it, and I brought it back. It's in the garage right now. I'll have to put the camera down while I do that because the bag weighs 50 pounds, and carrying that while carrying the camera is probably not going to be easy. And then we'll go check on the garden for the morning, make sure there's no new bug infestation showing up. All right, well, I'm gonna grab that bag of scratch, and just so you can see, yeah, these bags of scratch grains are quite heavy. Carry them. I really should have dropped this guy off, or this bag off, over at the shed on my way home when I came up to the garage, but for some reason I didn't think about it, so here we are having to carry it. Chickens are behind me. These bags are big and they're heavy, but you know, when you have animals, carrying 50-pound bags of feed is something you do. It's pretty regular. All the chicken feed, all the geese feed, or duck and goose feed, common bags of this size. So it's just one of those things that you need to do. So as you can see, I've been kind of slacking on this. I really should have these in these bins back here because that'll keep the mice away. But yeah, all the animal feed comes in these 50-pound bags. That's the layer feed, so that's the regular chicken feed. That's the duck and goose feed, which we only have geese, but the feed itself is primarily designed for ducks, but geese are also fed that feed. And then we have the scratch grains. Scratch grains aren't completely necessary in the summertime. The chickens will scratch around anyway. This gives them a little something activity to do in the morning. So grab a couple containers of this. We use old plastic containers, as you can see there. Scoop it up, throw it out there. And we'll probably grab some goose food, throw some goose food in the container while we open their cage up. And then, yeah, that should be it for feeding them this morning. So we're just gonna grab a fluff container because that's a good size one. Take a scoop of this. That's probably enough. There's no real set amount that we have to use here. Just use whatever we want. We'll walk over here. We'll open the chickens coop up, let them out, and then throw the grainer on the ground so that they can scratch around and eat at it. So we also have opened up the chicken area a little bit. I'll show you that here. So the fence used to come straight down there. We've expanded the space out. You can see there's a lot of green in there. The wife put the beach umbrella up to give them some extra shade during the day, and if it rains, see how that works out. It's a good idea. Hopefully it doesn't tip over or anything. There's a lot of roots in here, and it's hard to find a good spot to screw it in, but yeah. So they've been having fun digging into the new greens over there. We expect that all that green area will probably look more like this after a couple weeks. They've already started. There was already a bunch of green right up against the back of the shed there, and as you can see, there's not as much. You can already start to see ground through it. So okay, let's go over here. Let's open this guy up. You can hear that they're already wanting to come out. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, come on 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and there's a 21st, but I bet you she's in there. I've got 2 hens that are broody. Sounds like looks like one of them came out, which is a surprise. But yeah, we've got 2 hens that are broody, and I'm really working hard to try and break them of their brood, but it's not so easy, and they are quite stubborn about it. So I'm sure one of them is in there right now. But we'll just take some of this, sprinkle it out, and you'll watch that they'll all come running to try and get some. Throw some back there. And if you throw that around, all the chickens will come up, start pecking at it. Now, of course, it's probably start pecking at each other too, because the pecking order is still being worked on with all of these younger chickens being added to the flock. Yeah, like that. But they're figuring it out, and everybody's okay otherwise. These partridge Plymouth Rocks are definitely the meaner of the bunch. They like to go harass the little chickens the most, whereas my 2 olive eggers and my well summer here really don't care too much. They don't really give them too much trouble. There's a couple of the partridge Plymouth Rocks that are definitely more just bossy, I guess is probably the right word, to the smaller chickens. But overall, they're getting along well, and everybody's doing okay. Now, the next thing I usually have to do is look for Zed to make sure he hasn't run off somewhere, because he loves to go running off in the morning. Yeah, I don't know if you can make him out down there, but he's down on the hill. I got to keep him away from the neighbor's cows. He likes to go down there and visit with the cows. And, you know, he doesn't do any harm, and the neighbors like him, but I don't like him running off into the neighbor's yard, so been working on that. It's a work in progress for sure. So, next thing we're going to do is we're going to check on, what's he smell over there? The geese. Hey, Zed. Zed. Come on. Hey, come on. Let's go. Good come. Good job. Come on. Let's go. Let's go wake up the geese. Yeah, let's go wake up the geese. So we got the geese in this pen over here, the side of the shed. So we'll hop over here and let these guys out. I don't know if they're going to need any feed. Let's take a look. I'm sure they're going to need fresh water. The geese are so nasty. Their water gets pretty gross very quickly. Yeah, as you can see, they need more water. Take care of that. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Good morning, guys. So we've got some feed in there still, a teeny little bit. That'll hold them for the morning. They eat a lot of grass, so their feed is not as much consumed every day. And I also have these guys under pretty stringent control here. I really don't want any predators getting any of my animals. Pop this door open. Hi guys, good morning. Let them out. There they go. Saying good morning. You can see the Sevastopol's are starting to get their curly feathers in. And Lucy over there is still nice and normal feathered. They really like to flex their wings in the morning, stretch everything out. So, yeah, take this. We use just a regular old step-in post to hold the door of the coop open. This is our old chicken coop. This was actually the side where we would scoop out the bedding and the chickens would come in the front door. But because the geese are larger and it's summertime, it's been working great for the geese. They have plenty of space in there, it's nice and warm, and they can come and go as they please during the day. So they do nap in there during the day, especially if the sun's quite high. They'll go in there. But, yeah, they're happy over here. As you can see, they're chewing on some feed already. They'll go out and they'll eat a bunch of grass. You can see it's interesting. They kind of stay away from the far end down there. They don't eat the grass as much, whereas up here it's really well mowed. So we're hoping that they'll move down a little bit and then we can maybe move these fences around. But they also don't seem to fly out of the coop at all. Or out of the run. They're very, content to just stay where they're at. They don't tend to give any trouble about it. Unlike the chickens, where they'll try to jump out regularly. Oh, hi guys. They'll follow us around, of course. They probably want to go to the pond. Take them to the pond later today. Hey, bud. What are you doing over there? Huh? What are you getting into? Gotta keep an eye on these guys. What you eating? Huh? What you eating? Come on. Let's go. Let's go look at the garden. Okay. And then the last thing we do in the morning during chores is we take a look at the garden, see how things are coming. So basically what we're looking for is, did any deer or anything get in here at night? And if there's any obvious bug pressure starting to show up. So you can see the beans are popping up. I'm gonna have to thin those out a little bit. These packets for some reason grew really well compared to some of the others I planted. So yeah, got some cucumbers here looking good. That's an open space because these are going to be squashes over here. Some more winter squashes here. Everything's looking good. We had the neighbor's dogs run through the garden yesterday, which was kind of annoying. But as you can see, they stepped on that hill. Some summer squash. All these winter squashes are looking great though. Everybody's doing well. And the corn is finally starting to pop up. I'm pleasantly surprised that it filled in. I was really thinking we were not going to get any. This took a long time to come up. Maybe this version or this variety of sweet corn just really likes it warm. I don't know. But yeah, until we had a week of hot weather and then a week of basically pure rain, I wasn't able to get these guys to pop up, and now everything seems to be coming up nicely. So I'm happy to see that. Okay, let's take a look over here. We've got our peppers. Let's see, I've got a weed coming in here. So sometimes I will just go ahead and grab a weed if I see it. But we've got a lot of peppers, some beans down there coming in nicely. More peppers, tomatoes. See the dog's footprints there again. Gosh darn it. But all the tomatoes are looking good. I don't see any, major or even minor bug damage at this point. Everything's looking pretty good in general. All the plants are looking nice and green. Everything looks healthy. Once again, more dog footprints. Very annoying. But other than that, yeah, it all looks good. I don't see any issues here. We've got buds coming out on lots of these tomatoes. Let's see if you can see that there. There's a bud there. All of these seem to have flowers on them. If we look here, you can see some flowers there and some flowers there. Well, maybe you can't make it out, but there's one in there. Yeah, some more here. Lots of flowers on these guys. These are our cherries. These do tend to flower and fruit pretty quickly. So yeah, they're doing well. They're at the point where we're probably going to have to put up our Florida weave system here pretty soon. So probably this weekend I'll start putting the stakes in the first couple sets of strings in. Potatoes, doing great. They look amazing. I'm so impressed with how well the potatoes are growing. I mean, these 2 rows of potatoes have just shot up like so well. Our beets, surprisingly, that we planted forever ago, you can see that this batch right here just actually came up. But look, you can see some more are starting to come up here that I didn't think would ever come up. They just started to. Nothing over here ever grew. This was kohlrabi. I think because kohlrabi seeds look a lot like these wild turnip seeds that I've got, that I'm constantly having to pick out. Maybe I accidentally picked out the kohlrabi seedlings. That's a very good possibility. So I guess that just shows that next time I got to start the kohlrabi inside instead of planting direct from seed. Turnips, this is really just for chicken feed, is looking good, but you can see we've got some turnips coming in down there, which is pretty nice. These are still pretty thick in here. What we'll be doing is thinning these out and feeding the greens to the chickens as time goes on. Those cabbages there are looking great. Oh, well, that's a problem. So one of these Japanese mustards has already gone to seed, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, I'll probably want to cut that off. But these are supposed to, do well in warmer climate, and clearly that's not the case here. But we're gonna pick some of that this week, give it a try. It really has been ravaged by bugs. So this kumotsu, I'm sorry, I don't know the exact pronunciation, but it's supposed to be good, to eat kind of like a Swiss chard or a kale. So we were gonna try it, but yeah, it seems to be going to seed, so that's not good. This is just some kale looking great. Our collards are just looking amazing. We're gonna have collards this weekend with some friends when they come over, and I'm very excited to try these. I wasn't sure I'd get collards to grow very well here because it's so cold, and collards tend to be a southern warm weather crop, right? At least that's what I think of them as. Even though they are a brassica, I tend to think of them as a warmer weather brassica, and these guys are just doing great. So I'm really pleased with that collards. And then here's some more of that kumotsu. Here we seem to have some bug infestation. I was looking at this yesterday. I can't find the bug that's eating this, but there's definitely something in here chomping away at these. So I'm probably gonna have to put some spray on this I got this one slug right there. But I don't think a single slug would have done this much damage to these guys. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's doing this. I can't seem to find it. But those two plants might just be a loss. And then our Brussels sprouts are looking good. I've never had success with Brussels sprouts, but we do seem to have some teeny little bits of growth down there in the middle. I don't know if the camera's focusing on it properly, but yeah, so maybe we'll get some Brussels sprouts. That'd be kind of cool. And then finally we have the 2 rows of kales and cabbage, and these are all doing great as well. Our red cabbage is starting to fill in nicely. The kale, we've been eating kale regularly. The kale is doing just really, really well, and we haven't had any bug pressure yet, which is amazing to me. Whether it was in Florida or over in the other town in Vermont where we lived, which you can't really, you know, if you're not from around here, you won't understand the orientation, but I don't know if you can make out that there's a house over there, like right there. That's a road that leads to our old house. So we are really close to our old house. Our old house is probably at the base of that hill over there, you know, just a couple miles away. And we were just inundated with cabbage worms, right, on our kale last year. It was a non-stop fight. We still harvested a lot of kale, but it took a lot of BT and a lot of hard work to keep the slugs and the cabbage worms off of our kale. And this year, not a single one. I think I found 1 or 2 little itty bitty cabbage moth worms on the bottoms of the leaves. But outside of that, we were unable to find, or it's not that I'm unable to find, I'm happy to not have found any other than that this year. So it looks like maybe 1 moth came through and laid a couple eggs, and we caught all of them and got rid of them. But as you can see, all this kale is just looking terrific. You know, I mean, these are just huge. These leaves, beautiful, amazing coloration. I didn't grow any traditional flat leaf like your lacinato or dinosaur kale this year, because those seem to be the most impacted by the cabbage worms last year. These were probably second, and then these were third. And this is a lacinato style, right? It's a flat leaf kale, but it's purple. I don't know if maybe the purple throws off the cabbage worms or something, but they definitely seemed to never go after that one last year. And then they were after these less than the pure green lacinato type kales. But I don't know if the purple theory really holds up, because they don't seem to like too much the curly leaf kind here either. And this is pure green. But these leaves are, comparative to the others, much more dense and more you know, fibrous. So maybe they just don't like it because of that. And then finally we have some cabbages, and as you can see, they're starting to head here. That's looking great, forming their original shape. This is where we lost 2 during that frost, or that freeze, in mid-May. So I don't know what I'm gonna plant here. I was thinking about putting some radishes in, and then kind of changed my mind. And now I'm thinking I might throw some bok choy, or maybe even start a couple of late season cabbages and throw a couple more here and then a couple over there. I'm not positive yet what we're gonna do with that. And then these beets should be coming out sometime soon, so I might turn like that whole row into some other types of greens. And then finally we have 2 more cabbages here. They're also looking great. So yeah, this is our morning check. I just completed the bug watch, so that's done. This is that pile of just absolutely atrocious insect netting or row cover that I bought. Don't ever buy that stuff on Amazon. It is just absolute trash. I mean, look at this. It's disintegrated. I can't even pick it up. It just falls apart. And it's only this. I put that out in April. It's June. So within 60 days, it went from being a row cover that didn't let any water through it, which is pretty useless, to a row cover that is a mass of just breaking down fabric that is tore apart. It does not hold up to the weather. It is just absolute trash. Got the dogs running around. I'm gonna go in, get some breakfast, give them some breakfast, and get ready for my work day. So yeah, I just wanted to walk you around, show you the morning chores. Basically, this is our morning routine every day. I come out here around 6 with the dogs to let them go to the bathroom, let all the winged animals out, let them do their thing. I do have to get the geese some more water here in a few minutes, but that's nothing interesting. I'll just fill up some water in a container and bring it down. As you can see, they are awake and out. They're pretty fun. We're surprised at how much we like the geese. Quite interesting. They like to go swimming in the pond. They'll follow us around if we open the fence, so we tend to take them for a walk once a day. Okay, I'm gonna grab my fluff container over here, put that back in the shed, and then get my day started. If you enjoyed this content, would like to see more about the animals or the gardens, how we're working on our property here. We have a lot of work coming up still. We're building a new chicken coop, raising these geese so that they can possibly give us eggs next year. Of course, raising the chickens. See the chicken coop back there coming together. If you'd like to watch and follow along as we explore raising animals and raising growing our own food in the gardens, taking care of the dogs, in general, just having fun out here. Click that like button, click the subscribe to the channel and follow. If you click the little bell, you'll get notified every time that we release new videos, which tends to be somewhere right around once a week. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one.